I would say the biggest piece of news right now is that Google Maps is getting a massive update. If you have a business that utilizes Google Maps, Google Business Profile in any way, this is something you want to be aware of, you want to be taking advantage of, or at least preparing for here in the pipeline from Google. Functionally, what is the change? The change is that the maps themselves are getting a pretty extensive overhaul in the way that we interface with them. It's getting this kind of like intuitive 3D mode that shows you verticality. They've overhauled the imagery to have a better 3D, understanding trade-offs for alternative routes, mastering the final stretch of your drive with helpful guidance that shows you like parking areas and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. But I like to look at the marketing part. I like to think about what's going to impact people's ability to find my business in those maps. And right now, that is going to be the AI component, or they're calling it Ask Maps, a new conversational experience that answers complex real-world questions a map could never answer before. If you are running a Google Business Profile, here's what you need to understand about Maps. Maps is a great way to be discovered, especially if you're some kind of locational experience, right? Like a restaurant. In the new conversational modal, there's a couple things that are happening. One, it is taking personalized data in. If somebody consistently searches for vegan restaurants, Greek restaurants, whatever it is, it's going to prioritize those in their results. That's something that you're not going to be able to account for. All right. But now I can ask more nuanced questions. Do they have availability, seating available for 4 at 7 o'clock tomorrow? Now, if you're not using a publicly available booking software for your restaurant or for your massage parlor or whatever it is that you run, you're going to lose out on those searches because it's way more contextual than just raw data. Also, hey, I want to go a place that's got a funky, fun vibe. I want to be at a sports bar. These kinds of questions are going to be analyzing your photos of your place along with the reviews that people leave. So reviews just became even more important. As if they couldn't be important enough, you got to have a review strategy in today's day and age if you're doing Google Business Profile. This is my concern in the marketing world right now. Okay, I'm not worried about my job being replaced. Let's say that out front. What I am worried about is that enterprise marketing agencies who are cost unavailable for medium and small businesses are going to figure out a way to build a new model that allows them to provide services at a cost efficiency that makes sense for medium and small business. That is my fear. That is where I'm at this point as far as the industry goes. Who is safe in that regard? I think if you're an in-house marketing person, you're probably a bit more safe rather than an agency. But what happens when these giant marketing corporations can develop AI-enabled delivery that they can now give to small business at a cost-efficient rate? That's where my head's at right now, and I don't know what the solve is, to be honest. ChatGPT or Claude, which do you prefer? I think ChatGPT is probably the worst of the big three, to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of ChatGPT. It's a generalist. If you're trying to do very general things, it's fine. But I think that Claude is better at linguistics. I think Claude is better at reasoning. I think Gemini is better at research. I think Gemini and Nano Banana is better at image gen. So, like, why would I use a generalist when I can just go to a specialist? You know what I mean? Should I just hire a marketing agency? I don't have time to learn all this. Yes, that's actually why agencies exist. One of the best things about choosing an agency is that you're not having to manage anything and they have to win your business, right? If an agency does bad, you just fire them, you get a new agency. You spent no time training, you spent no time. Yes, did you lose some time with a bad agency? Sure, but hiring an agency removes a ton of other headaches that are invisible until you start building your own team or you start doing it yourself. I think the agency model is good for most businesses, 90% plus businesses, and even massive companies like Coca-Cola, like Nike, still hire agencies to do different campaigns. What's your opinion on repurposing content? Do it. You have it, reuse it. I have shot, let's find out how many videos I've shot, shall we? I can do that. I have a folder with every video I've ever produced. How many items are in this folder? I have produced 1,137 videos. I think there are some missing in here, but let's just call it 1,200 videos. I've made 1,200 videos. I have probably reposted a third of that at least once, if not more. It's good. Don't be afraid to repurpose, reuse your content. How would you schedule repurposing content though? Just reuse the best performing ones? What time has to pass? Everyone's going to give you a different answer. I'm going to give you my process. Okay. This is my personally developed process that I like. I think the results are good on it. My rule is the hotter the video, the sooner you can repost it. Okay. The soonest that I'll repost a hot video is 3 months. Okay. If it's not a hot video, sometimes I'll go 4, 5, 6 months on the repost. But that's my timeline, is 3 months repost. Unoriginal content, reposting content, pretty sure you have to re-edit the whole video for it to pass? No, not at all. Completely unnecessary. I can tell you from testing, unnecessary. In-house over agency, cheaper, more efficient, understand the business self. In-house is never cheaper than agency. How to market being a mortgage broker? I wouldn't market being a mortgage broker. I would go build partnerships. Put all your effort into building partnerships with realtors and title agents. That's it. Don't waste your time marketing directly to people. No one chooses a mortgage broker first, unless you have an extremely special use case. What strategies would you use to build pricing power for B2B service company? Okay, let's talk about pricing for a second, because I think this is a super important aspect, because it's not marketing, but it is marketing. Because pricing strategy is really a big part of how you market, how you sell. If you compete on price, that is the only thing people will let you compete on. Okay? What do I mean by that? Let's say you have a lemonade stand. You're selling lemonades for $2. Okay? $2 lemonade stand. The big glass. It's 20 ounces. Lemonade, fresh squeezed. Great stuff. Then someone shows up next to you and they set up a stand and they go 20 ounce lemonade, $1. But you look over at their stand and they got that old Minute Maid powder, the powder, and they're just dumping that into a cooler. That's it. You're going to lose customers to them. It's going to happen. People are going to want to spend $1 because those customers are price hunters. Okay? They want whatever I can get for the cheapest amount. Okay? But guess what? Those were never your customers anyways. Okay? You don't want to compete on price. What's your advantage? We're fresh squeezed. Okay? We've got the lemons here. We've got distilled water that's really nice. We've got, for your sugar, you can choose pure cane sugar or you can choose xylitol sugar-free substitute. Splenda, whatever. You get to pick. There's your advantage. Okay? There's your advantage. So, if you lower your price to $1, your materials are way more expensive. And now you're saying judge on price. So, you have to be careful because there is a problem with your pricing strategy. And if you compete on value, and not just compete on value, compete on perceived value, your pricing doesn't actually matter as much. Okay? Because here's the difference. How do you compete on perceived value? All right. One, your lemonade stand is just the same cooler
You're a wizard, Harry.
that the other guy has. And that's it. You just show off one guy with a cooler, another guy with a cooler. $2, $1. Okay. No perceived difference. I'm going with the $1. Okay. Now, you put out lemons. Okay. You put out a thing of raw cane sugar and a thing of your sugar-free substitute on the table in front of people. You have an ice bucket that's full of ice that people can see. Now, when I walk up to the two stands, I see the guy with the cooler for $1. I see lemons. Maybe they've got some little leaves still on them. Okay. I see the sugar. I see the mixer, right? I see your press and I go, oh man, that's definitely worth $2 over that $1 Minute Maid guy. I'm going to get that. So you can see how, like, if you compete on price too much, that's the only thing that matters. But if you don't compete on price and you don't show perceived value, you have a problem too. So I hope that helps understand some pricing ideology, because from there, if you're showing perceived value, charge what you want. Charge $5 for a lemonade. I know I paid for that at the frickin' fair before. Anyways, there you go. I'm doing CPA marketing with free traffic. I do good numbers, but I want to take it to the next level. Okay. What do you think the next level is? Write down 10 ideas. And then this is the easiest. If you're ever stuck making a decision, let me give you this trick. This is super easy. Okay. It's super easy and it's real, which I love. Write down all the options you have. Write down all the options you have on a piece of paper. Okay. Write them down, stand up, and walk away from it. 5 minutes. Just a quick break. Go do something else. Get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, whatever it is. Okay. Come back to your piece of paper. Sit down. In 10 seconds, cross something off the list. You have as fast as you can. The moment you cross something off the list, stand up. Walk away, listen to a song, whatever it is. Come back, sit down. As fast as you can, cross one off. Eventually, you will have one item left. Go with that. There is something in your subconscious that knows that's the choice. We try to be too cerebral too often with decision making, and it hurts us. It hurts us because we can always come up with a reason why that's not the choice. Our brains are incredible at it because the front of our brain is our danger detection mode. Okay? The front of our brain is survival tactics. The back of our brain is cognitive processing. So if you can take the front of your brain out of it and just use the back of your brain in your decision making, you end up getting to the better decision more often than not. What's your definition of marketing? I love answering this question. It's one of my favorite questions. Here's my personal definition of marketing. Marketing is the act and effort of positioning products and services that will benefit people at the right place at the right time. Okay? I want to put the right product in front of the right person at the right time. If I do all of those things, the likelihood of them engaging or remembering engaging later is super high. That's it. I do like to also include the ethical part of it, right? Like, that helps people. I don't want to just sell gewgaws to people that don't need them. But joy is a factor in all of this, right? Why do we buy fashion? Why don't we all just wear jeans and a white t-shirt? Okay? Because our fashion brings us joy. Why do we buy keychains and Pandora bracelets? Because it brings us joy. So joy is a valuable factor in that as well. Is SEO cooked yet? SEO's not cooked. It's just changing. It's metamorphosis. It's got new elements, right? We need to be more humanistic to rank in AI, right? We need to be more topically aligned. We need to be doing social SEO so we can get found on social platforms because lots of searches are happening there. We need to be cognizant of our GBPs, because we're going to have more of a socialized search instead of a rigid algorithmic search on maps. We need to be very technical because these AI rely on the technical performance of SEO quite a bit. So SEO is just changing. It's not just write blogs anymore.